Hello Sagittarius, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. Website for Ciro is usgamesinc.com. Feel free to check that out if you want to, naturally. Supportive Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Feel free to freeze frame on any of the information if you need a minute to look at it, of course. Illustrated by Jesse Reish, and there's a website at the bottom, hayhouse.com. Feel free to check that out if you'd like to. I don't know if that website's updated or not. If you use a search engine, you can find it if you need to. Hay House is still around. I just don't know if that website is quite correct anymore. One of these days I'll look it up, and I'll promptly forget that I looked it up. That's probably what will happen. Makes me think I've already done that. Why is there so much speed? Like, why is this so fast? I mean, I know you're a fire sign, and you guys get a lot done, and you're pretty efficient with it. I get that. But, I feel like there's excessive speed here. Even you might be saying, whoa, this is going too fast. This is a bit ridiculous. Because I see this Nine of Swords starting it off. I think that's the only rough card for you. But I think it's starting off where you're addressing, like, no, this is too fast. And it might be more in the sense of, like, what you're doing is being affected by other people going too fast. It's kind of like, maybe I can keep up and maybe I can do what I need to do at this rate. But other people going that fast, I'm seeing a lot of errors, and I see that I have to fix a lot of these errors, or I have to handle things differently based on how sloppily they did something. Maybe they technically did what they needed to do, but the way they did it, I have to straighten it up and clean it up, which makes my job take longer, which is really not helpful. So you might be just addressing, like, this isn't working well. This is too fast. In some respect, there's something here that's too fast. Again, it might be just the way somebody else is handling things. You're like, they don't do well going that fast. They don't do well at all. Can we get a little clarity on this Nine of Swords? The Nine of Wands is holding the line, but I feel like that might be for somebody else. Like, they feel like they have to hold the line. 8 of Major Arcana is the Strength card. And then the 10 of Cups. Whoever this is, I feel like you're not against them. It feels like they fit, but the way things are going is not working. They're trying to hold up. They can't. This might be a situation where they just can't go as quickly as you are. They can't keep up to the way you do things. They can't go from one thing to the next. It may be addressing that. Sooner or later, that has to be addressed. The Sun card is waiting. I feel like the situation has to be addressed. The sooner it's addressed, and sooner or later it will be. I feel like that's why Destiny is here. It's going to have to be addressed at some point. I feel like you don't want to, but I also feel like things do get better after you do. I feel like one of the reasons you may not want to is because it's kind of like, I don't want people to think I'm against them, or like I'm calling them out or something like that. I'm not trying to make a bad moment here. But on the other hand, it does have to get called out at some point. It's not going to get better until I feel like you need to call it out, because I get the Magician on your side of what's going right. You have to restructure the situation and make it what you want it to be. The first step of that happening is you calling it out. And it doesn't have to be like I'm calling you out. It doesn't have to be like that, but you have to start addressing it. The thing is, I feel like when Sagittarius starts speaking and they really have something to say, it comes forward, I feel like it's fairly positive usually. I know there's a lot of different Sagittarians out there, so I know it depends on you and how you feel and how your life works. But I don't see like you're trying to beat up anybody, but you're like, I'm just going to come out with the facts and just kind of like riddle it off real quick, everything that's not working. When that happens, it does change things for the other side. They don't like what's going on. I think they need it to change just as much as you need them to change. So, the wheel is turning. They knew this wasn't going to last. And they need to heal from it. They knew sooner or later it was going to go, something was going to be a problem. It's better if you say something. I don't know, it depends. If this is a work situation, it's better you say something than a mishap. And you know what that could be. Like, for example, if somebody's working in a warehouse, I'm getting this thought, like somebody getting hurt in a warehouse versus you saying something, I feel like you'd much rather say something. Somebody could get physically hurt, or it could just be errored work, but it's better that you say something before there's a problem. And they seem to feel uncomfortable addressing the situation. I feel like once you do, though, I think things get better, because I do see things restructuring. I see them, you start off with the Magician card. This is kind of like the Magician card in this other deck to me. They're going to move and change. They might even have to change what they do. They might have to swap out a position with somebody else. If this is a work situation, they might have to swap their position with somebody else. Maybe they didn't really want to do that to begin with, but after doing this for as long as they have, they're just addressing, like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. What is their decision? What are they going for here? What is their result? Six of Swords, they're going to move on from it. And the Star card. I do feel like they're going to address it, and they're going to honestly own up to, like, this isn't working for me either. I just felt like I had to do it. I thought I'd get used to it. I just don't see it really getting... I don't see me really getting used to it or getting better at this. They want to step away from it. Why is there so much speed? I don't think I've had caffeine. I'm like, there's so much speed with this one. They're addressing it. They are. They seem to address that this is not working for them. They feel like whatever you do, they can't keep up. They don't understand how you do it. One of their big downfalls, you kind of remind me of Scorpio in a sense of, like, you keep moving and you get things done, you go from one to the next. Scorpio and you, the similarity I see between the two of you is people can't really follow in the sense of, like, you do it your way and it makes sense in the moment and you handle things in the moment. If somebody tries to build a plan based on how you do things, I feel like I would step back and be like, no, there's no plan. I just, as it needs to be done, I do it. And then I like get so far and I'm like, wait, that needs to be done, and I do that, and I just keep moving and I just keep going from one to the next as appropriate, as necessary. I'm just adaptable. You're very adaptable. And I feel like that's kind of the plan. You're very adaptable, but you keep moving. Even if something doesn't seem to be working out perfectly, you're like, I have to keep moving anyway, and you just keep going. They can't emulate your energy. They can't copy your energy. They can't do things the way you do things. And maybe they were trying to do that, and that might be literally why they failed. It is what it is. Things are changing. Things have to change. That might be literally the change that's happening here. Where they stop trying to do it the way you do it. They have to structure it the way they need to do it. And I feel like that works better for everybody. Like, I feel like I almost want to say to somebody, don't do it the way I do it. I'm me, I do it the way I do. It makes sense to me, I keep up with what I need to do. Set up your own situation. You handle you. You take care of you. Do it your way, structure it your way. I structure things my way. I handle things the way I need to handle. It's kind of like people can't do things the way you do things. Unless they're of a similar energy, like Scorpio kind of does. Other than that, maybe Aries, Leo, maybe Libra. Libra doesn't seem to... Libra, I don't know about Libra. Maybe Libra. You and Scorpio especially, because you have the drive behind it. I feel like Aries has its own way. Aries is another thing. I don't know why we're going there with that. But we can't have them emulating you. And I feel like maybe that's a part of this. Maybe you need to realize that they can't do it the way you do it. They have to set up their own structure. You're successful being you. They have to be successful being them. So that might be part of the problem here. If they're trying to be the way you are and do things the way you do it, that might be literally what's making this situation go bad. That's just not how they work. We're all different. You know what I mean? This reminds me of, like, being in a corporate environment, and where if it works to the situation, the fact that somebody will stick with it to the end, that's a great thing. Oh, you're very dedicated. You stick with it. You're dependable. That's great. But on the same token, if they want things to change quickly, and the same person is like, they're still doing things the same way, they're like, you don't change, you don't adapt, you don't move as quickly as we want everybody else to quick. So now they don't like the same behavior. People are who people are. It's kind of like people who need a structure and need a plan and need to follow that plan every day. That's a great thing. That's not mutable. That's not changeable. That's just who they are. It's kind of like you. You do things, you don't like boundaries, you like to do it in your own section or your own way. even if you have boundaries, those boundaries need to be open enough so you can move freely within them to do what you need to do. Not everybody is that way. Not everybody succeeds with that. I don't know where else we're going with this. Like, what else should I be telling you about this? Because I feel like this is fine. You're very good for who you are and handling things the way you need to handle your part. We might have to put a little distance between me, or you and them, me and them, you and them. I'm kind of connecting to your energy. There might need to be a little bit more distance between you and them so that they don't really have the opportunity to try to mimic you. Because mimicking you is bringing them down. That's not going to work. That's just not you. That's just not how they work. Not for nothing, if you were working with a Scorpio, they create their own rules. So they wouldn't. I don't see a Scorpio trying to mimic you. So if you're dealing with a Scorpio, I'm blown away. I don't know why I'm throwing that out there. I keep getting like this similarity energy. I keep getting that similarity energy. I don't know why. It's weird. But I also get like you might have to put yourself at a distance from this person so they don't even have an opportunity to mimic what you do. That might shut it down right there. The more they come forward to who they really are and they realize that they can't do it the way you do it, the better they're going to do. Something has to change here. They have to stop trying to be somebody they're not. They have to trust that their way of doing things is best for them, and that's what they need to follow. It's kind of like we're not all born to be rocket scientists, right? Rocket scientists. We're not all born to be pilots. We're not all born to be gymnastic experts or gold medalists. You know, we're not all born to be bakers. We're not all born to be novelists. We're just not. Doesn't mean we can't find happiness and joy and bliss in what we are good at or what we are meant to do, but they can't be somebody who they're not. I feel like this whole thing is about that over and over again. They need to learn to be themselves. Once they stabilize who they are and they do things their way, especially if you're in a position to empower them to do it their way and to like, all right, this is what you need to get done, create your structure, make it happen, and I'll go do my stuff, you do your stuff. They will have a lot of abundance here. It says prosperity, but I'm feeling the same thing here. A lot of prosperity. Prosperity is like things going well and continuing and building from that. Abundance could be a moment in time and just moves on. So, you know, abundance could be transitory. Prosperity has longevity. That's kind of how I see the difference between the two of those, just in case it matters. And I feel like they can have long-term prosperity, but they have to honor their way and do it the way they need to that is successful for them. I feel like this whole thing is about they're trying to emulate you, they're trying to mimic you, for a good reason, because it's kind of like you're a successful energy, but it's not working, and they need to stop. They need to stop and do it their own way. Once that's taken care of, and you put a little distance between you and them, I feel like you and them will still get along quite well, but I also feel like they'll be much more successful, and you'll be a lot happier with them. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.